What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quick. Welcome back, guys, to another quickie. We apologize we didn't have a quickie yesterday because I wasn't feeling well, but today we are back and lots of interesting lineups today, fielded in by different teams. Of course, I'm your host JJT with our Commish Eric.
Yeah.
So Commish, I guess this is the start. I mean, we started a few, last week, but the closer it gets to the end, the crazier it gets.
And it's April Fools in the States, so I guess it's just expected that it's gonna be foolish slate today. Foolish set of games, in other words.
Imagine Detroit played some of their starters for a few minutes and then sat them. I'm pretty sure managers are annoyed by it.
No excuse for that. I mean,
well, there is an excuse. It's April Fools.
Well, I know Dwayne Casey and the coaching staff and management of Detroit do not care about our fantasy seasons and everything, but it's obvious that they were looking at OKC's lineup and probably they saw Poku out. Poku was out also with an illness, by the way. Yeah. So maybe they said we can't lose here if we let Cade and Sadiq and Isaiah Stewart play. So okay, let's let the other guys just play. They rested Olynyk. That's the point. They rested Olynyk. So why will they not just add Sadiq and Cade into the mix, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
No, I would have gotten it I would have understood it if they just rested Cade and Sadiq and then played Olynyk. But I guess Olynyk is older. Although many probably added Olynyk because of the Marvin Bagley injury.
Yep.
Well, I guess, this is not the year for Kelly Olynyk. I think he's fooled us so many times this season, without anything to show for it, really.
But again, I think we have to really nitpick every game. What the risk factor of the game. Detroit versus OKC, when we look at it, it's battle of the tanking teams. We like it. It's like gonna be no defense. But actually, when you see a game like that, you have to think twice because both teams really do not want to win. So they would rest as much players as they can. And right now, we are not even into the second string players. We're even into the G League players already. The 15th, 13th, 14th man. And actually, if you look at it, the Pistons and the Thunder are just separated by 2 wins. That's why this is very important.
The wins from the bottom, right?
Yes. 22 wins for the Thunder before today, 20 for Detroit. So I guess Detroit, it's going to be tough. If they beat the Thunder, they'll be 21. That'll be too close for comfort. Right now, they have the top 3 pick. They have at least a good chance with the top 3 pick. If they fall to the 4th or the 5th, their tanking will be
a disaster.
Yeah,
a disaster.
Go to waste.
Another team who also rested some of its guys is the San Antonio Spurs, because they are slowly getting into that play-in. Which
no, they didn't rest their players. DeJounte actually had an illness. He had an illness.
Yeah, he had an illness, right? I mean,
like Jeremy yesterday said he had illness, but I think he just went out.
Yeah, me too. I had to rest.
rest.
I joined the rest bandwagon, but San Antonio. Did they win today?
No. They won. I think that was a real illness because they were against Portland, and I told you even if they rested Jonte, they would have still won by a big margin, which they did. They won by 21 points. So they had to rest probably their whole top 10 guys to lose to Portland. And they have another game versus Portland, by the way. Their next game is against Portland. So Lakers fans, not looking good.
Well, one Laker who tried to pull off an April Fool's joke is LeBron James, who said he's sitting out the rest of the season. Well, looks like he might sit out the rest of the season at this point. They lost once again to the New Orleans Pelicans in a very crucial and important game. This moved the Pelicans closer to that play-in, securing that play-in spot. I think they're two games ahead already of the 10th seed.
I think the Pelicans are almost sure of the 9th seed.
Yeah.
So it's really the Lakers versus the Spurs. That's what it boils down to.
And it didn't help, of course, that the Spurs won today.
And it doesn't help. It doesn't help that they have the tiebreaker also. So they're one game ahead. Since they have the tiebreaker, they're basically 2 games ahead of the Lakers.
Yeah.
Meaning the Lakers need to win 2 more games than them the rest of the way. And
2 out of 4, right? Is it 4?
2 out of 5, I think.
No, they don't. It's not like they have to win. They hope that they win 2 games and then San Antonio loses a bunch of games.
No. They have to win 2 more than San Antonio from this
point. Oh, yeah. 2 more.
And San Antonio has, as I said, that's Portland coming up. So that's a sure win. So then they have to win 3 of the remaining games. And we looked at
an easier schedule.
We have seen their schedule. They have the Nuggets twice. They do have OKC. They have Utah. They have Golden State. So I don't see 3 games there. I don't see 3 games. You can give me OKC. You can give me one of the Denver games. I don't know, Golden State, maybe Golden State. Will they help LeBron?
Denver. I think they can win that if Denver decides to rest some of their guys. But
I doubt.
But they've built a nice cushion over the Timberwolves for that 6th spot. So
no, they lost today to the Wolves.
Yeah, but I think they're still 2 games ahead.
I think they're close. They're close. And they're close right now.
All right. So it looks like they're going to be neck and neck versus the Timberwolves. So no rest for them. But yeah, the bottom line is the Lakers are slowly getting to that point wherein they would not make it to the play-in. And that would mean that, some of these guys might just call it the season. Anthony Davis returned today.
Yeah.
So
congrats to the owners who stashed him. No, congrats to the owners who stashed him all the way till now. But I guess you're out. so the season's over. But
no,
he looked good. He looked good.
Did he?
Yeah, he almost had a triple-double. He looked okay. I think he's
20 something. Okay, but he looked slow. He looked
that's how he looked for the whole season. I mean, out of shape, Anthony Davis got 20-something points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, something like that.
Yeah.
So he looked good. And I think he's showing us that pick me next season. Believe in me. So,
I guess the biggest question now is because I'm in some playoff games this week, semifinals, and then the other half of the league I'm in. One of the teams got Anthony Davis as well. Pick up Anthony Davis. It's an 18-team league, so that's a crucial add.
Yeah.
Because in an 18-team league, it's gonna be hard to stream players, right? I couldn't really find anyone to stream. So I've been thinking if I want that Anthony Davis team to make it, or the other team which has Joel Embiid to make it. The other team has Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Yeah, I think you would not want to face them given that they are fighting for their lives.
Yeah, right.
Fighting for their lives. Yeah, I forgot who told me that he picked up Anthony Davis. Is it Luigi Custodio? I forgot. Or who had I think Jokic and Embiid in his team, and then he was able to pick up Anthony Davis and he's in the semis or in the finals. So good luck to his opponents also.
Yeah,
it's a big advantage
because they don't have a back-to-back. So I think Davis
no more back-to-back
could play the next game already. So let's see. That could be a game changer of a move this late. We've been talking about players resting. I'm kind of sure Anthony Davis would not be resting anymore. LeBron might, depending on the ankle, I guess. But
depending, yes.
Yeah, depending on the ankle. But the chances of him doing that, if he feels like he still can go, he'll probably go and try to make that play in.
And so far, it's a season of rest, but it's also a season of returnings.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, this year, like we've been complaining about rest, but some of these guys returning, Paul George, Chris Paul, Adam Davis, these are big players, major players returning at the end of the week. And from the fantasy perspective, they could be game changers, right? They're really game changers if you're still alive.
Yeah, the Chris Paul one was a game changer. Paul George, I guess, he played 2 good games, so he could have been a game changer also.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the Chris Paul one was a game changer because he was picked up. Yeah. He was picked up, and he came back earlier. He didn't come back week 23 or week 24. So he came back when a majority of seasons are still in the finals or in the semis. So he was a big one. And then now the fourth guy is Gordon Hayward. But I don't think Gordon Hayward would have a same impact as his 3. He's coming back tomorrow, but his injuries, first off is lower part of the body, leg or knee. And then the Hornets have nothing to play for, number 2, except to get him, in shape. So I don't think he's going to be that impactful, but he will affect some of the Hornets there a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
He could be one of the better streams. I think managers would just wait and see how he does tomorrow.
I don't like him as a stream. Given how
in
many
deeper leagues, like I'm in an 18 team. There's really not much to get there. So if he's available, he's gonna be available to stream. I'll watch and see what he does tomorrow, and then if he looks good, I might stream him in the next game, right? So
I agree.
If you're in a deep league, but if you're in a 14-team league, there's a lot more value in a lot of players. We will be able to talk about later. Steph Curry ruled out for the rest of the regular season. Well, nothing surprising there. Everyone expected him to be out really until the end of the regular season. Ben Simmons.
I'll just wait for Steph Curry. How do you, now that it's over, what is he a bust or not? Because I put him his totals and averages, he's top 7. He's 7th in total, 7th in averages, whether Yahoo or in hashtag, whatever rankings, he's 7th. Would you consider this season a bust for him?
Not really as a bust, but a little disappointing. Not a bust, not a total bust. Just
I'm
disappointing because
so I put him as a bust.
If you look at it, he's had great numbers this year, but I'm not sure if owners would also say the same thing. But for me personally, my experience of having Steph Curry in my teams is that he misses the most important games in fantasy. That's just me. I mean, I just feel like, the games that I wanted him to play, he just decides to rest or, get injured or whatever. So that's the annoying part.
And nothing more important than the fantasy playoffs, right? He missed basically the whole fantasy playoffs. So I guess I was just irritated because right now I'm in the finals and I'm in battle of my life for threes and points. And
right?
my first pick is out.
Last week I got eliminated because of that. I mean, I didn't have Steph. The threes were close. The points were close. It could have been a different story if I had Steph. But yeah. And this week I'm in a semis. We're in that 18 team, and my top pick there was Steph, and he's out for the rest of the season. So hopefully I still get to survive.
I guess this is the better question to you. Would you consider Steph Curry an injury-prone player during drafts? Because there are players that you put in the injury-prone like Embiid and everything. Steph has not really been considered that. Do you consider him together with AD, Embiid, these guys?
I guess not together with AD. I think AD is just on a different level. I mean,
but I want you to consider how many games Steph has missed in the past 4 or 5 seasons, right? I think it's time to consider him as an injury-prone player in the AD level, I think.
Yeah. I guess he's closer to the Embiid level. Embiid this year has shown that he can stay healthy. He can stay, he's closer to that you still think about him as a player who might get injured. It's not like AD. There's this mentality or psychological effect wherein if you look at AD, you would always think he's gonna be injured.
Yeah.
You already expect him. In fact, he's going down the draft board just because of that. And Embiid, at least this year, helped us, remove that stigma of him being a very injury-prone player. He's still going to be considered an injury-prone player, but at least this year he played a lot more games, played really well, and moved past a lot of fantasy players as well in the draft board. I'm pretty sure next year he's gonna go higher than where he went this year.
So you put Curry with the Embiid level, and I guess AD's with the Miles Turner Brogdon side. But all of
a higher ceiling Miles Turner, Brogdon or Gordon Hayward. He is on a higher level. I think next year AD goes second round. I wouldn't be surprised.
Second round.
Drops to second round.
Jimmy Butler, don't forget Jimmy Butler. But these guys...
where do you put Jimmy Butler?
I would put Butler with Steph. Butler, Steph, and AD. Actually, for me, are the same. I've been thinking about it. Last year was the only season I think Steph was mainly healthy. Previous to that, he played 5 games, and then before that, he was also injured. So he kind of is injury prone. Regardless if it was a fluke injury this time, AD's was also a fluke injury. I mean, part of it was fluke. A lot of fluke injuries. So I think I'll put them all.
I think together. Injury. There's really some bad luck involved when you get injured, but there's just some players that are so they are an injury magnet, right?
That's AD,
right? That's AD, and if they get injured, it's a string of injuries. Like AD this year, how many injuries did he have? Not just one, right? I mean, Steph had probably a couple different injuries, but AD, he's got a lot, and he played through a lot as well. So I think that's where the difference is between those guys. And for Butler, I think he's just old. I think you're right. Butler and Steph, I think they're just more cautious about these guys as well.
No, I guess
I think the injuries. I think for Butler, I think he could have played through some of the injuries, but Miami just felt like let's not risk it. Just rest it and just be 100% healthy.
No, I guess what is important here is do not draft these players. Just for our listeners, it's a way of you. If you lump them together, this group, I add Paul George to this group also, by the way. If you add these players, like some of them are first rounders, some of them are second rounders, some of them are third, some of them are fourth. As much as possible, pick just one of them in your first 4 or 5 years. That is my lesson to them. Do not lump them together as in like go Steph and AD, let's say, for 1 and 2. Like as we said, AD might go to the second round. So, okay, I'll go Steph and AD. That's very risky, and that's something I would not recommend if you want to live longer.
and then don't combine them with the lower tier injury prone guys. Brogdon, Miles Turner, Kristaps, Gordon Hayward, those guys don't, if you've got the top level players as such, don't go for those players already in the lower. I mean, I think for me, if I get, let's say, AD in, let's say, a second round, I'll probably pass up on Brogdon, on Turner. Even if the value looks nice, right? Even if the value looks nice, I'll probably just find someone who's a little more reliable. And Paul George is another one. I was just about to ask if Paul George is on the same level.
Yes, he is.
And I think you can also add on Kawhi there. I think Kawhi next year would be categorized in the same level as Steph, Jimmy Butler, for sure. I mean, Kawhi is probably the most cautious player in the league when it comes to injury.
Yes.
And he is the the father of all load management.
Kawhi next season would be like KD last season. I don't think he's gonna get injured, but there would be injuries here and there. He's coming off a long day off, so he's gonna take time for him to be his old self. Maybe one whole season for him to
You
get.
think he plays on the playoffs?
I think there's a chance. Given that Paul George looks so good,
Yeah.
I mean, if he plays, no one can say how far they can go. I mean,
yeah,
there's a chance.
They are looking like a dangerous team, and they even don't have Norm Powell yet.
If they win that 7th, 8th seed match against Minnesota, let's say they go 7th, they can beat Memphis. Phoenix is tough because of the experience of Phoenix. But Memphis versus a full Clippers team with Paul George and Kawhi, that's a good fight.
And Memphis, I think, is peaking a little too early. I'm not saying, they shouldn't be winning these games, but there's such a thing wherein, you're peaking a little too early. And usually, if you look at champion teams, they peak just at the right time, somewhere in the middle of the playoffs. They play their best. Like, Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee's another team who is like that. And Memphis might be peaking a little too early. Anyway, we'll talk about more about the playoffs. Maybe once the season ends, we'll look into some of the predictions. But who are good ads here? Which team?
We'll talk some teams, no? Like Orlando is a new team to talk about. Franz Wagner got hurt with a sprained ankle today. Played 1 minute. So I don't think we'll see him for a while. Markel Fultz. I put Fultz there. He's been playing well. 14.5 and 14.5 as his 3 steals the past 4 games.
Yeah.
So Fultz is...
And I don't even know if Wendell Carter is coming back.
Exactly. Yeah, Wendell Carter. So Okiki and Mo Wagner will still be there. If you need 3s and you're in the 18-20 team league, as Jeremy saying, Ignas, but can't pronounce his name, Brzezkis or something. He played 20-something minutes. He had 3 3-pointers. If Wagner is out, he's a shooter, basically a 3-point shooter. So if that's what you're looking for the next 2 games, 2 days, of the week, you could go to him. So Orlando is one team.
Okiki, those a bit annoying to own.
He's struggling. Yeah, he's been struggling.
Struggling so much. The field goal's been bad, and the defensive stats aren't as good as when he played really well in the middle of the season. I guess OKC is another team that's going to be free agent haven by fantasy managers. Today, Lindy Waters showed up.
Yeah, Lindy Waters. But we know Lindy Waters. We've been talking about him for a while.
Olivier Sarr.
Yeah, Olivier Sarr. People know him. Jaylen Hoard is a new name. Yeah. Jaylen Hoard, 11 points, 20 rebounds, 2 blocks. He was signed hours before this game. And he's from the G League. And then he started and he did this. If Poku comes back, you can disregard Hoard. But if Poku misses the next game, maybe he does this again. I guess he's gonna cost OKC a draft pick with the way he played today.
But it's just the first game. I'm pretty sure the team they were against didn't even know him. So that's why no one really knew him.
Yeah.
Who's this guy and why is he playing, right? Why is he playing for OKC? Usually that's what happens if you're new to a certain team and to your opponents. They don't know how to guard you, no scouting reports, right?
The order there is Maledon, of course, and then Waters, and then Sarr and Kretschke. Those are the guys in order.
Detroit, we said, tanked today.
Killian
they did not play. Well, they played Bay for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, players like Killian Hayes and Isaiah Livers were the beneficiaries here. Even Kelly Olynyk, who I'm sure was added by a lot of managers after yesterday's injury to Bagley.
When I saw he was out, I was really nervous because I was planning to add him in the finals, but I did not. So I checked and rechecked. I was so relieved that I did not add him. But yeah, Saban, Livers, Killian is number 1, and then Sabian and Livers are 2 players you can consider from Detroit.
Yeah. Who else are? Which teams are usually?
Portland.
Yeah,
Of
Portland.
course. Portland now has a lot more players. They have 10 or 11 or 12 players. There's new guys there. Reggie Perry. I remember this guy, watching him in a national team of the US in the youth division. He's called Refrigerator Reggie Perry because he's really big. He got a double-double today with some blocks. So check him out. Greg Brown, starting for Trenton Watford. He can shoot threes as a big man, 5 3-pointers. So these are the new names. The other names we'll not talk about anymore. You guys
we've
know
been
them
talking
by now.
about them. Yes.
Yeah, you guys know them already.
Houston, is Houston a possible destination
Usman,
or target?
Garuba and Bruno, but we've talked about Bruno. Garuba today got a lot of rebounds and some blocks, so you can also consider. No points, so just check which category. At this point, it's really about categories that you need.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much those are
Indiana.
the teams. Indiana. What are the chances they rest Haliburton?
No chance.
Or
of
Hill.
course, there's a chance.
Because Haliburton's been playing well. I mean,
we don't talk about Haliburton because we don't want to jinx it. But they've been losing, so it's okay. O'Shea, the big news is O'Shea came back. So I didn't expect him to come back. He came back. I hope he plays in the next game. I think every game
and Isaiah Jackson came back.
Yeah, but I don't think Jackson at this point will get enough games left to really get his game going. But it depends. It still depends. Goga is always questionable. O'Shea could be questionable. So Indiana, basically whoever plays there would be the stream. So it's tough. It's tough team to target because we don't know who will play.
Yeah, another team that might start, resting like they did today is Memphis.
Yeah.
So they didn't play Bane. They didn't play, of course, Dylan Brooks was the usage king once again. Took 28 shots today. And how many did he score?
27, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. So if you ask me who are the better streams, Dylan might be rested also. I mean, they might alternate rest. So Kyle Anderson, I think, is a guy that is probably safer, I think, in terms of rest.
Zaire Williams.
Zaire is basically points and threes though. So I like Kyle over Zaire, but both are good.
Yeah. The Clippers also rested their guys. Not sure if they're gonna do that in the next game. But I think the Clippers have a good enough second unit to win some games as well. So Robert Covington and Amir Coffey, these guys played really well some part this season. So yeah, Coffey had 30-something points?
32 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Then Covington 41, 11 3-pointers. 11 threes. And our friend Joey Villar said that he owned Covington and Killian Hayes in his finals matchup, and he's celebrating and thanking his lucky stars because I think he won it.
Right?
I mean, from Covington and Killian, that was a total of 63 points. And I think around 14-15 threes. So
crazy season. Sacramento is another team. Tanking. Of course, we talked about Damian Jones, who had 6 blocks, 17 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 blocks today. Massive line, fantasy-wise. Davion did not play well today.
Yeah, but he still had, I think, 12 and 10 or something, 11 assists. He didn't shoot well. He
turned the ball over a lot. I think he had 7 turnovers.
Dante was the guy who played well today. Dante DiVincenzo. So those guys that is why when you ask me about Gordon Hayward as a stream, unless these guys are not available anymore, I'm not really that high on him. I would prefer even Lindy Waters over him at this point. So lots of good new players to target for your fantasy teams.
Yeah, Milwaukee is another team who rested their guys. And of course, when the starters rest, it's Connaughton, it's who else are those guys? Connaughton, Bobby Portis. Chances are they're not going to be available. The only guy who could be available, just in case next week some of these guys rest as well, Jordan Nwora is the guy probably who's going to be available in your waiver wire.
Or Ibaka, maybe.
Yeah, Serge Ibaka could be available. So, of course, Portis would not be available. I don't think he was dropped in the
He could
different
have been.
leagues.
He could have been. Because he was so bad. He's probably dropped in some leagues. But
Yeah.
again, we don't know when the rest will come. I don't think this would be a regular thing for Milwaukee, except if it's a back-to-back. This was a back-to-back. So, and Clippers and Milwaukee are
And
both
they had
probably
an
up.
overtime game yesterday. So
Yes. We talked about that in our courtside DFS, and yeah, we saw the rest coming.
Yeah.
We saw the rest coming.
So yeah, those are some of the waiver. Well, it's a crazy season at this point. So there's really no definite ads or pickups that's gonna guarantee you a good category. That's why, like I said, that's why the daily today setting is perfect for playoffs. I mean, the daily tomorrow would have, it's so hard to add players at this point unless they're the sure thing. So yeah, there you go. That's our daily fantasy quickie for today. Hope we made up for yesterday's missed episode. But yeah, good luck for the rest of the week and have a good Sunday, guys. Bye.